Welcome to the podcast of School Beyond Limitations. In this podcast, you will learn how to guide your child through their school life with the intention to help them find their unique essence that will allow your daughter, your son to live a fulfilled and meaningful life. Well, today, is a very special day because today I'm meeting with a former student of ours and a former parent of ours. And I always find it very fascinating that even after a year that we haven't been working together anymore, because this is Vassilis Paradas, who is the father. Hello, Vassilis. Thank you for coming.
Hello, you're welcome.
And Athanasios Paradas, who is Vassilis' son and who finished SPL last year, at the end of last year.
Exactly.
Hello,
Hello.
Athanasios.
Hello, good to see you.
So I'm always fascinated to see, that also after a year or after some time, there's still this connection and that there is still this interest of talking about the experience at School Beyond Limitations. So my first question, and thank you for coming along and sharing your experience. And I think if I was now a parent myself, I would like to ask first Vassilis, as the father, what made you think that School Beyond Limitations could have been the right place for your son Athanasios, or Thanasis as we call him also?
Okay, for sure. At the beginning, let me start with a Greek quote that say that when you are a part of a family once, you remain part of this family forever. For us, School Beyond Limitation was just for 1 year, but we will be always on this family. I am proud, first of all. I'm very proud that Thanasis developed himself through this school. I'm happy because at the end of the school year, his foundation was great. I'm also happy because even 1 year later, we make some conversation and he have friends and people who talk with from school. So just for the beginning, this is what I want to mention, that once an SBL student, forever in the family of SBL.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
So
You're sold. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see whether Thanasis or what Thanasis actually thinks, because Thanasis, you are now approaching soon university. And
yes,
we also need to say you're coming from a conventional school context, right? So you were coming from the Greek school context with clarity around the curriculum and stuff like that. And then you entered School Beyond Limitations, and in only 1 year, you did all the A levels, which is kind of phenomenal. So it's not only kind of phenomenal, it is phenomenal. So Thanasis, what do you think, and what was your experience, so to speak, at School Beyond Limitations, coming from a completely different setting,
yes.
getting into this setting, and tell us a little bit more about it from your perspective.
Okay, so first when I heard of it, I was like, this is completely awesome because we had a teacher there, a friend of ours. So she recommended us the school. And because I'm an athlete, we were like, we can give it a chance because we believe that I will have more time to focus on the stuff I actually want to for my future. So I went there. My background was completely different. I had many more hours in the school, in the Greek school, with many subjects that it wasn't in my interest to learn about. So I think the major difference was that I was able to only focus in the things I want, and I had the time to put on. So I was able to actually learn the things that will help me in my future, and also have the time to discover myself and see what I have in my mind for my future, about the studies, about my maybe potential jobs. So yeah, I had too much time to focus on what actually mattered.
Mm-hmm.
That
So,
was the
so basically, what you're saying, the time helped you also to free yourself a
yes,
little bit from this stress of just focusing on what needed to be done.
yeah,
Yeah. Can you
exactly,
can you go into that a little bit more? Because I'd like everyone to also understand, that you are coming from a background of having been a very, good student already at your former school. This is
yes,
something which needs to be said. And that you also trained as a downhill mountain biker, right? If I'm not mistaken, in championships, right?
yes.
So finding yourself is a big thing, and we stand for that, right? Because we think it's important about understanding who we are. What helped you? Just the time, or was there something else also that helped you to find yourself
I
again?
believe I believe there was a facilitator too, because once a week, if I remember correctly, we had the private session where we had to discuss about our future, about our current problems, about our studies, in general, whatever I had the need to. So I think in this way, I was able to actually think and actually discuss with someone. So I was able to go deeper in my thoughts and actually take something from it, not just speaking, which is very important. Actually understand and analyze it.
And I had a conversation with your dad the other day, when he said, it was amazing to see how focused you are now on your education. So I wanted to ask Vassilis before coming back to you, Thanasis, what made you see that he's now more focused also without, labeling what is more important and what is less important? But saying, and hearing a father say that a son is so much focused on his own education, that means a lot. So, what did you mean by that?
For us, choosing a school for Thanasis was the most significant decision that we could make. When we enroll our son to the school, we were waiting to develop his academic excellence. However, what we experienced went far beyond traditional schooling. The institution has not only supported the academic journey, but also shaped his mental well-being. On the previous school, Thanasis wasn't so focused, not because he didn't want, but mostly because the information was too many outside of what he was wanted. And when he needed to face a facilitator, a teacher who was trying to provide knowledge, but on subjects that Thanasis and also most of the kids, and Thanasis will agree on this, could never be interesting about. School from a place that the people should want to go became a place that there was punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So punishment on the backside of the mind became a closed ears and not willing to learn.
Yeah.
So SBL supported on this, his mental well-being, his emotional resilience, and overall his mindset. All the decision was totally his own. His decision to focus on the sport was his own. We were trying very gently to push him a little bit more before school, beyond limitation, to the academic, but it was very difficult for him to balance it. When he joined SBL, a miracle happened. I mean, he balanced it by himself. And I will never forget that his harder try was the period that he was living alone in San Remo. And over there he was trying to balance a very hard training because he was on the perfect place for downhill for his sport. He went over there for the sport, but also it was the first period of his life that he became adult. And SBL support this journey mentally, most of it.
Thank you, Vassilis. And yeah, I think this is something that we also stand for. And if we are looking at Thanasis now, Thanasis, you have voluntarily decided, to actually study at university and still continue then with your downhill as well. But you realized for yourself, how much the complete package also with containing education means. And what I would also say, what was out of our perspective and my perspective very important, is that you were open to really collaborate with your facilitators. You used that time. Tell us a little bit more about how much this and how deep those conversations went, and how you were able then, and what made you able again to reconnect and understand what your priorities are.
Okay, so when I first came to the school, my main focus was biking. But when I was a few months in, I started to realizing that world have a lot of faces. So I saw a lot of things. I saw from the other students, from my facilitators, because they had more experience than me. So when we were in the meetings, we were able to actually not only focus just on the academic ones, but actually talk about me, talk about what I have in my mind, talk about my problems. So this became a major part of developing myself, and see that, to be honest, biking wasn't the only thing that I would do myself, and maybe not the most important one. So through the facilitator, I was able to understand another phase of the world, another phase, maybe a bit more educational one, but still a very important one. So I think they turned the way I was thinking around. So they made me focus a bit more on the things that actually mattered about me, and that I didn't know it yet. I actually didn't know it yet. I had a few thoughts in my mind that weren't realistic, to be honest. So they made me see a few things in another way that actually helped me to be where I am today, about my studies, also about my biking, which is again a major part of my life. But they made me focus on things that had more matter for me without me knowing it. If you understand what I mean.
I think I do understand what you mean, and yet I'm trying to twist it a little bit around now, because maybe, not only maybe, I know that at the end of the day, we do know, we just don't remember it anymore, and in the conversations with your facilitators, and maybe through your experience, previous experience, where you had to learn things that were not relevant to you, and it was just learning to the test and for no real meaning, you lost this connection to education and to academics, because it was already there, you know, that you are also interested in many other things that was there, wasn't it? So it was a reawakening, so to speak.
You could say so, yeah. Yeah, because on my old school, as we told before, there were a lot of not relevant things. So the environment wasn't so supportive. Everybody was doing his own thing that didn't have to do with you. The support from the teachers wasn't great, to be honest. Of course, there are exceptions, but the major teaching methods weren't supported enough. So, yeah, I believe that we had a big turn in my life, big turn in the teaching way. I also had to do a few things by myself, which is very important because the teachers were there. Mr. Agit was there for the econ and business, of course, and he helped me a lot. But he also gave me the point of life that you need to do a few things by yourself. You need to focus by yourself. You need to try by yourself. So I think that is a very important lesson for the future.
So basically, if I hear you well, it's about the support, it's about the right environment, it's about the relationship,
Absolutely.
it's about the shared learning so that you don't feel alone.
Yeah.
Is
Yes,
that what
exactly.
you say?
Exactly. Because before I came to the school, I had also a love for economics, but nobody was there to support me. When I came, I saw I would study only econ, business, and Greek. So just major things that I'm interested in. I would have teachers for it. So my life started to have interests where I wanted.
And when
And also the classmates were very important because everybody had his own life, a very different life from mine. I could see from a lot people from all around the world. So I started realizing that other students have completely different lives, and I could also maybe try, if I liked their life, to follow the same path. You know?
So you did inspire one another, right? It was this
Yes.
community. And I would like to get back to what your father said before, Vassilis, right? When you said, Vassilis, yeah, it's about once SPL, forever SPL, because it's this kind of community, this kind of understanding. It's not just class now, we are still connected. What would you say about your experience as a family about this connection at SPL and the support at SPL and the larger, you know, understanding what it means to be on a shared journey?
Coming from Greece and from a basic educational system where we could have some reviews about Thanasis progress only once every 3 or 4 months. All these procedures of SBL was making us very happy, first of all, because we were able to learn about his development, but also we realized that it was a really teamwork. And okay, we were a team in our house, and I believe a good team. But Thanasis, because of his sport, which is he was alone, didn't develop the team spirit. So it was something, let's say, brand new for us to put him on a greater team, to see things that we need to discuss and check and develop all the time. So we were also excited about this process as parents, because for the first time we were really understand the way of the development, not just the plan and to focus on the target.
Yeah.
For the first time, we used to have some reviews about what we were doing, how we do it, and according which process we're gonna go to the next step. And this was very helpful
Thank you,
for
Vassilis.
Thanasis, but also for the family.
Yeah, and you actually really described it so wonderfully, you know, Vassilis, because it's really a team effort, right? It's a teamwork, and all the members of the team need to come along. And the main part of the team, of course, is Thanasis, is the student themselves, right? And in this case, Thanasis. If you were Thanasis to describe the role of the student that you were at SPL, right? I mean, that's a different kind of student than a student at the conventional school, I guess. So, how would you describe the role of a student if the student wants to be successful within this team approach of education?
Okay, so I think the most important thing a student can do is actually be open-minded to communicate with each other, which we had the opportunity to do a lot every day. We were going to some private teams in the class, we were discussing things, so we learned to value each other's opinion. So I believe this is the most important thing a student can do if he wants to actually success in a teamwork, if I can say it in this way. So I learned how to communicate, how to work with other people, how to actually understand and try to understand what other people have to say. Because in Greece, in the schools where everybody just see himself, he doesn't see anything else. So I actually learned how to think from other people's perspectives. So we're able to communicate and actually develop our relationships and improve.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was able to improve. If I wanted something, I could ask for everyone. He would actually help me out. Everybody would help me out. If they wanted something, I would help them out. It was very important.
So it was the team spirit, it was based on collaboration, or it is based on collaboration and
Yes.
co-creation also, right? So it's not the facilitator or the teacher knowing it all. It's a different approach, right?
Everybody had their opinion. Every day we were able to speak freely, and everybody was actually listening to us. We were discussing things, we were debating for things. We had the app, the advantages and disadvantages of the conversation, but we actually learned that everybody, not everybody, the teachers, the students, everybody has a valuable opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and we actually learned to judge, not to judge it, to think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it wasn't that the teachers were like, "That's correct." No, they made us think.
Mm-hmm.
They made us think about something. I don't think I remember, except from, of course, like maybe the math or some theoretical things that are correct or that are not correct. Uh, they they never said to us, "Your opinion is not true."
Mm-hmm.
Everybody could discuss it, and maybe I had a few times that I changed my opinion because the others made me to change it. And I believe that they were more correct about a theme, but there were also times that even the teachers, even some other students spoke with me or spoke with some other classmates and were actually able to change their opinions in a better way.
Beautiful. So if let's pretend there are students listening to this recording, what would you say to the student who is halfway? Yes, I would like to change my educational environment because I don't feel alive anymore. What would you suggest, Thanasis first, and then Vassilis, to parents? Maybe what would you suggest them thinking about, considering, or yeah?
for me, from my experience, would be straightforward for SBL, because they would actually feel themselves. So I don't think there is actually something better from this. If you think and understand yourself, you know what you want to do in your life, and there are people that will help you to do it. Even now, after a year, I think I left the school 1 year ago, and even now, the school helps me. I help the school whenever I can. It's family. It's family.
Beautiful. Thank you, Thanasis. That's so beautiful. And Vassilis, you as from parental point of view, what would you say to parents who are in between and who say,
Not so many words, but in my opinion, for the first time, we faced some people who were looking behind the grades. It was the real knowledge and not just to pretend that you know it. Building the character and look behind the grades was in my opinion, is the foundation to create a better future. That's my opinion, and this is what I will always say from now on to any parent who's gonna ask me about it. SBL is focusing on your children, and not as a student, not only as a student, but as a human too.
well, Vassilis, I'm very grateful for these words because it's looking behind and within a person. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that. Sharing experiences is the most important thing to do. And we wish, of course, Thanasis in his new venture, you know, at the university that he will be starting soon. Just the best, and we will keep in touch, of course, and with Vassilis, of course, as well, because we are co-creating constantly, right? Even if you are leaving SBL, you are still part of SBL. So thank you so much for your generosity to share your thoughts, and I wish you well and have a good time ahead.
You are welcome.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure to see you again.
To share. It was our honor and our pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. At School Beyond Limitations, we support our students find their unique essence. Feel free to share the content of this podcast with other parents. We are here to show that your children can, indeed, bring their unique essence into life. So, reach out to us if you think that this is what you'd like your daughter, your son to experience, or apply through our website. Also, leave your comments, your questions, or your review about the podcast. Share it with others. And as you know, sharing is caring.